Hi guys, my name is Heather. I'm the owner of Leavenly.com and the founder of the Sourdough Mamas community on Facebook. Today we're going to be reviewing the Wire Monkey UFO bread loaves, as well as showing you how to do different scoring techniques on two separate loaves using two different bread loaves. So let's get started. So first things first, why do we even need a bread loaf? A bread loaf is used for scoring our sourdough bread, and you need to score your bread in order to let those gases escape as your dough heats up and as the steam needs somewhere to go. So you score it to let the gas escape and also to give it that beautiful pattern. If you don't score sourdough, it'll burst at kind of its weakest point and do kind of like a natural score, which sometimes works out and looks beautiful and other times kind of looks like a disaster. So that's why we score with bread loaves. So when I first started out, I was using this technique. This is a tongue depressor I stole from my pediatrician's office that I split into thirds, and I put a razor blade at the very end. So it's really easy. If you don't have a bread loaf, this is a great place to start. You could use a popsicle stick too, and you just basically take your razor blade, bend it, and slide this through the big holes, and voila, it's done. And this you would use to score and slash your sourdough with. I then moved on to a loaf that looked like this. It's basically the same thing, but it has a fancy wooden handle on it and kind of a metal neck. And it's the same thing. There's a razor blade on the end. You just squeeze it to put it on, being very careful, of course, of the sharp edges here. And then you score your sourdough bread with that. But I wasn't finding that I could get the control that I really wanted. When scoring my bread, I was using the long loaves like this, and I felt like my hand was just too far away from the razor blade itself to get really precise control. And so then I discovered the UFO loaf by Wire Monkey Shop. So that's what this beauty is. This is called the Bread Journey loaf, and it's really beautiful to look at. And what I really love about it is I have 3 kids under 4, so I need to keep these razor blades put away and keep them out of reach. So what I love about this is that you just twist the discs like this and it loosens them. Then you just tuck the razor blade inside like that and tighten it back up. And then it's just like a disc. It looks like an Oreo, and I store that in my bread baking drawer. And the razor blade is tucked safely away. Then when you want to use it, you just loosen them again. And I kind of tap it on my work surface to loosen the razor blade a little bit. Then it drops out like that. Then what I do, just to be extra safe, is I hold onto the razor blade like this and then tighten it back up with my other hand. So that squeezes the 2 discs together and holds the razor blade really firmly in place. So I love this loaf so much, and we'll be using this to score one of our boules today. The next loaf I want to show you, also by Wire Monkey Shop, is called the Arc loaf, and this is their newest product. It's a beautiful wooden holder that the loaf sits in. It's got the Wire Monkey brand on the bottom, and the loaf sits inside like this. And again, the razor blade is away. It's safe. There's no little fingers that are going to happen upon it and accidentally slice the finger open, which is a bonus. And it's curved, so that's the biggest difference that you'll notice between this loaf and the UFO loaf, is that this blade is straight, this blade is curved. So this one is really great for, you can score it for all kind of scores, but I really like to use it for the curved scores. So we're going to score a second sourdough boule with using the Arc loaf today. And then you guys can see kind of what the differences are and give you, an informed opinion when you're trying to decide what kind of loaf that you want to buy. So let's pull out our dough and let's get started. Okay, so for this first boule, we're going to be doing what I call the Leavenly technique. And we're going to be using the UFO loaf, the Bread Journey, to score this design. So first I have my sourdough in the Banneton. It's been in the fridge overnight, about 24 hours actually. And so I'm going to dust the bottom. Remember, this is the bottom, and the top of the dough, the loaf, is actually at the bottom here. So this is going to be the bottom of the loaf. We put a little bit of flour on there lightly, and then put our parchment paper on top, flip it out, and then there you go. So that's now the bottom, and this is the top. So this is how your loaf will actually bake in the oven and come out. So I just set it on my Lazy Susan like this, and then I dust it lightly with flour. And dusting it with flour, this is just all-purpose flour. I find that that works best. Some people swear by rice flour. It's really, I think, just preference. For me, I always have all-purpose flour on hand. And so, you know, I never have to worry about running out of the rice flour. I always have all-purpose flour here, so it just makes it easy, especially as a busy mom with 3 kids. You know, can't always be worried about getting fancy ingredients. So I just dust it lightly, I rub it all over, and then I dust just very, very lightly one more time, just for good measure. And then for this one, I'm going to be doing the Leavenly technique like we talked about. So basically that is, we're going to be scoring like a plus sign on the top, really quite deep. This is going to be your primary score. Just like that. And see how easily this UFO lamb slices that. Really precise, and the precision of the UFO lamb is going to come in handy right now. I'm going to move over to the side here so you can see what I'm doing. I'm just going to deepen this one a little bit more, and then I'm going to make wheat stalks down from the point. So we're going to do a straight up and down like that, and then an angle 1 2 3 4 5, 1 2 3 4 5, just like that, and then move in here, straight up and down, 1 2 3 4 5, 1 2 3 4 5, turn it, and the third one, straight up and down, 1 2 3 4 5, 1 2 3 4 5, and then finally in the last spot, up and down, 1 2 3 4 5, 1 2 3 4 5. And note, when you're doing the wheat stalks, you don't actually make the stem of the wheat stalk, because that would function as a primary score, and those tend to open up really wide as they're baking. So we just do this, and you'll see this pattern once the actual loaf is baked. And then in this side, we're just going to kind of do chevrons following the shape of this V. We'll go down, 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 down. And I don't touch them in the middle, because if you do, they might split open. And so I just kind of keep them a little bit apart. And it doesn't matter if this one only has 3, this one has 5. You know, it doesn't really matter, because nobody, first of all, is going to notice that when it's baked. But what I do try to do is keep them even. I wasn't able to do that on this side. I did 5 on that side and 4 on this side. Again, it's not a huge deal. But the precision I get from this UFO lamb is just amazing, because my hand is so close to the blade. So that's our final score. And then one trick I like to do is I like to grab this kind of V shape here at this point and snip it with scissors like this and kind of lift it up. And then do the same thing here and lift up. And here, and this basically will help these lift and rise even higher in the oven. So it's kind of like a little cheat method. So let's throw this in the oven right now before it has too much of a chance to spread open. Alright guys, so this is the finished Leavenly loaf with the Leavenly technique of scoring. I call it that because it's my absolute favorite way to score sourdough, so much so that my husband practically begs me to score it in different ways. I just love this. It just looks so beautiful. You get some really nice oven spring. It's got the 4 little ears on top and also the decorative scores on the side here. So you can see the wheat stalks, you can see the chevrons, and there's the cross. And on these points is where we use the scissors to cut underneath the dough, and those lifted up and gave us 4 nice little ears. So yeah, I'm really, really happy with this. This looks absolutely beautiful. And again, with this one, I used the UFO lamb from Wire Monkey Shop. I have the Bread Journey lamb, and that's the precision I get helps to make such a beautiful loaf of bread. So let's go ahead and score our second bowl now. Go pull that out of the fridge. So for this one, we're going to be using the Arc lamb by Wire Monkey Shop. And again, this is really great for if you're doing like a curved pattern. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I'm going to do a spiral on this one. So it helps to have a Lazy Susan for this. If you don't, you can absolutely just do part of it and then turn your work surface like a cutting board and then do the rest and then turn and then do the rest. So, but in this case, I'm just going to spin this because that makes it nice and easy. So we're going to start right in the center. And we're going to make it a spiral and trying to keep it even, you know, same amount of space in between the lines. Again, it doesn't matter if it's not perfect, because mine definitely is not, but it's going to look really neat when it's done. My parchment paper is kind of sliding on the work surface, so I'm going to hold down the parchment paper as I spin it now, because we do want kind of a deep score here. I'm going about 1/4 of an inch deep, all the way down, and we're almost there. And done. So that's our spiral. I'm actually going to make this inner circle a little bit more of a spiral, just because I'm a perfectionist, if you haven't been able to tell already. So we'll just finish that off like that, and there. So I'm going to throw this in the oven right away, and we'll get to see the final result in just a few minutes. Okay, so we have our finished spiral sourdough here, and it turned out absolutely beautifully. The spiral starts on the top and works its way down, and I could not have gotten this precision with one of the longer type of bread loaves. The arc lamb absolutely was critical in getting this pattern. So if you guys get a result like this, I would love to see it. Leave me a comment below, or come over and join our Facebook group with Sourdough Mamas and leave us a picture. I would love to see that. There's links in the description below to these lambs if you guys are interested in checking those out. And definitely, if you like this video, subscribe for more, because we're going to be doing a lot more videos and instructional how-to videos showing you things like this, like how to score a beautiful loaf of sourdough. And I will see you guys in my next video. Happy baking!